What is up, everyone? Welcome back. I hope you are all doing well in the midst of this insanity brought on all across the world by the COVID-19 pandemic. I know some places, to include my state of Texas, have at least lessened some of the restrictions. I hope you are all managing that well. Today, we are getting back to a band that it has been far too long since I have covered here on the channel. A band that is near and dear to my heart. One of the bands that really helped ignite my love and interest in Visual K, as well as the Japanese rock and metal scene as a whole. That band is the Gazette. They are the first VK band that I was really able to latch on to and realize just how much I was missing by not being a fan and listening to and covering that scene. And though they have been absent for far too long from the channel, they are certainly not absent from my weekly listening experience. I continue to listen to Dim, Dogma, and Ninth on a regular and consistent basis, and Stacked Rubbish makes its appearances here and there as well. Thankfully, a wonderful subscriber who I have on Facebook reminded me of that. It's been too long. So, because I've missed all of you wonderful Gazette fans out there, we're going to do the Gazette. We're going to do Crucify Sorrow today. Let's go ahead and get into it. It has been too long. Band the Gazette, the track is Crucify Sorrow. And here we go. They always have these really strong, very attack-heavy acoustic passages when they use that kind of thing. Gotta love those big power chord-driven riffs there. Really love that heavy palm muted attack there as well. So easy to latch onto their grooves. Ruki has this way of rolling his R's and really delivering certain phrases that's awesome. Love that scratch guitar work, the accent there on each side where Rada's bass line's really driving it. I think the mid-range from Ruki is probably one of my favorite parts of his voice. That and the way he uses his vibrato. Good layering there, great vibrato usage. Really like the effects on that drum pattern as well. Also like how they're really keeping the ringing of that hi-hat, which is mic'd up well. That riff is built well, and that big, heavy-handed chug there really helps punctuate it and restart the riff. I like that a lot. Great way to shift back in there at that acoustic part. Really powerful lyrics here. Great drum fill, really tasty. They can really write one hell of a hook. Getting so much mileage out of it too. It's just such an easy riff to latch onto. And I like the fact they're using those semi-clean accents with that heavier strumming attack. All right. That 4-minute gem is the Gazette. It's Crucify Sorrow. It comes off the beautiful Deformity EP. And man, it's good to have a Gazette track back on the record. There's still some records I have not been able to do yet, which, in all honesty, it's time to really try to make it a point to get back to that. And it really hasn't been intentional that I haven't been doing them. I get so caught up in other things, and honestly, I forget to go back to them. It's certainly not because I've lost my love for the band. I absolutely enjoy them so very much. It's one of those things. It's one of those tracks that really showcases so many great things about the Gazette. The riffs from both players they really do use that heavy-handed attack on the strings when they pick, and the layering in the studio certainly helps to get that really big heavy crunch you hear when they palm mute, where they choke some of that note off and you get that big heavy chunky riffage. And the way they phrase those palm mutes with the way they let that riff roll at points and how they stage their chugs, even, and just the amount of attack really sounds great. And it makes simple passages and just simple power chord based riffs that they use in this track so effective and so hard hitting. Even with the acoustic or the clean tones you get, you're still getting that really heavy pick attack on the strings, which really brings those passages to life. Love the bit of electronics that I know they really started getting into around this period of their sound. That breakup helps add a bit of the syncopation to it, and I love those textures there with the drum tones. Even though you still get that really ringing clarity in the hi-hat sound. It's a fantastic job on the mix to be able to get all those glorious parts of Kai to shine through. This is certainly in a lot of ways an easier performance for Ruki. I mean, he's worked so incredibly hard to grow his range, and this is just one of those tracks that it's not that I lack anything to say about him. It's just he's so good, and he's got such great grasp of his voice, and he makes the vocal performance sound effortless. He goes into that gorgeous mid range of his for certain parts and coloring. He uses that higher part of his register. His vibrato flows so effortlessly whenever he wants to use that for coloring. And the Gazette truly are masters of making upbeat, happy sounding music with really powerful, emotional, dark lyrics. And I've always loved, ever since I started listening to the band, I just love that contrast of happy sounding passages, upbeat sounding passages, really dark lyrics. It's a fun track if you don't pay attention to the lyrics. It moves well, just enjoyable. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you to the subscriber who mentioned that, said, hey, you should really do some Gazette again. Thanks. I needed this. It has been too long. I hope all of you wonderful Gazette fans out there are doing well. I truly do. First time hearing them, please go check these guys out. They are fantastic and very versatile. They really do have such an interesting sound. All those punk elements of their earlier stuff to the heavier, more modern metal sounds of Dogma and parts of Ninth, though Ninth still feels like a love letter to the entire sound of the Gazette. They just cram elements in from their entire catalog into one really enjoyable, cohesive record. So, haven't heard some of that stuff yet? Please go check it out. Support the bands you love. You certainly should. Thank you guys. I love you. Thank you to my law enforcement, military, veterans, first responders, and all the medical personnel out there busting their butts in this trying time right now. Special thanks truly goes out to all the bands and artists that are affected in the music industry right now. It's really difficult on them. I have a video that should be posted up about the same time as this one is, where I'm doing my best to get as many bands as possible to post links to their music in the description or in the comments of that video. So if you want to hear something new, if you're looking for a different band, if you're looking for a different style, please go check out some of the bands that I know will post their stuff in the comments and help them out. Because the more you help out a band, the more you help out other bands, can keep the scene that the scenes and the styles of music that we love so much to continue making their art and working on their craft to make our lives and enrich our lives and make them better. So that's my impassioned plea to all you wonderful Gazette fans. I hope some of you take me up on that challenge. As always, you have been awesome. I have been Baldman. I'll see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other and keep headbanging.